everyone. Welcome back to the Sideline Debrief. I'm joined by my co-host, the marketing expert, social media marketing expert, Ethan, and myself, the semi-professional soccer player, Jamie. We're here back once again to talk about the world of sports, soccer, F1, and a little bit of basketball thrown in there at the end. Just a little fun fact that happened, and that's going to be way down the line, though. We're going to jump in, of course, like we always do with the Prem, because that seems to be our favorite sport, even though sometimes it doesn't love us back. So we're going to jump in. Very first thing today, we're going to talk about some of the coaching changes that has happened throughout the league, because it seems like a manager is getting fired just about every week at this point. So the big news this weekend on Sunday after losing 2-0, was it 2-0 against who did they lose to?
Chelsea.
Who did
Oh
Chelsea
boy.
lose to?
Oh boy. Are we
That's
already?
embarrassing.
That's how. It's really embarrassing. It was just on the tip of my tongue.
Yeah, it was.
Um,
At Villa. I knew
Villa.
I was
That's
going to
right.
say
That's
West Ham,
right.
but
That's
it
right.
wasn't.
That's right. And Villa actually leapfrogged Chelsea in the process.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So losing 2-0, about they had something like 20 shots, no goals. Chelsea did. And on the back of that defeat the next day, the pressure was too much, and Todd Bowley and the new ownership have canned Potter after only, I believe, about 6 to 8 months in the job.
31
So,
games exactly for Chelsea.
31 games, and I don't think it could have gone much worse for him in the end. Do you want to jump into your thoughts about Potter?
Um, I mean, after all the talking that Todd Bailey did for Potter and saying how he was getting back, this is a long-term project, and I get it, the results were bad, but I don't know if that's an American owner just saying we're fine, we're fine, we're fine until last second saying we're not. But
Mm,
I mean, listening to again, we listened to Ranks FC podcast, listening to them and how they even said what was Chelsea doing, taking a Brighton level. He was great at Brighton, but taking a
mm,
Brighton level coach trying to replace Thomas Tuchel, and we'll get into that
yeah,
later as well. It's
yeah.
just not. It was stupid. Like let's just say what it is. And then Bailey came in after he was hired
Mm-hmm.
and said we're gonna back him, put all this money in for
Bowley
Mudrick.
was in before.
Sorry,
Bowley was in before. Bowley Potter was Bowley's pick.
my bad. I got that mixed up.
Mm-hmm.
But backing him after signing Mudrick, Fernandez. Um, they got a loan player for 6 months for João Felix for 10 million. All this money put in, and I'm sure I'm forgetting some. I'll just name a few, but and then
Enzo.
Enzo Fernandez. I said him.
Okay,
Um,
okay.
but
Madueke,
yeah, exactly. Even more,
Badashile.
and just sacking him after the what technically 2.5 months of playtime with a ton of the new players that he got is what I'm saying after that January transfer window. And obviously he wasn't doing the best that he could. The results were very bad. A lot of it wasn't on him, but a lot of it was at the same time. The tactics
Yeah,
definitely were. And last game, playing Reece James as a right-sided center back
against a team that,
and Loftus Cheek as
he,
a right wing back. And the
yeah, he had
reasoning,
been doing that.
the reasoning was just so they could keep up with Ollie Watkins.
Mm-hmm. And Ollie Watkins scored because Cucurella put him through.
Yeah, and Reece James is arguably one the best right wing back in the world on his day, and you play him as a center back.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care about pace. That's why you have a three back. Play actual
Yeah.
defenders.
When Potter first got hired, I was a big fan of Potter at Brighton. I
You
wanted him
wanted
at
him at
Spurs.
Spurs. And that's honestly for
Full
Spurs right
contact.
now. It's not even that bad of an idea still. Just for as an interim,
Not
just
right now. Not right now.
until the summer. All right, that's my opinion.
No, he needs a big break from coaching. He needs to wall off. That man looks stressed.
Yeah, that's fair.
Um, but I mean, I would go back to when he first got hired. What I was telling my Chelsea friends, what I was telling you at the time was, I think Potter's a fantastic coach. I don't think he fits Chelsea. I think at Chelsea, it's such a boiling pot of pressure all the time. They're big names, players. Those players demand that their manager is one of the biggest names in the sport. Hiring Brighton's manager, Graham Potter, he's not the big name,
A
right?
lot of
He's
the
not the big
players
name
that were
any.
getting signed by Chelsea had to Google Graham Potter because they did not know who he was.
Exactly. Like
What he
it,
like?
it he's he's a great coach. I think that step for him, it seemed like I thought he lost the locker room, but talking to Chelsea fans, they said it didn't feel like that. It just feels like his tactics didn't work. So
Yeah.
I think he might have connected with the locker room, but I think that step up to having so many superstar players from being at Brighton, I'm not saying Brighton have bad players, but Brighton got the best out of what they had. But it seems like this level of players and this level and that cooking pot of pressure that is being the Chelsea head coach, especially at a time where they're spending that much money, so there's even more pressure. It just seemed to get the best of him, and I think that it's the right thing that they go separate ways. I would have loved him to stay at the end of the season, make sure they stay in the bottom half. But I think it's the right thing they go separate ways. I think Potter will rebound and still have a great career. I think you'll look back on it and you'll say that job just wasn't right for him. If he went to Spurs, I could see him doing something like Arteta. You give him 2, 3 years. He really embeds himself with the team. He picks the players he wants. I think that's the kind of coach. He's a project coach, and that's what Chelsea wanted—a project.
I mean,
But
also just to say this, I don't think he'd be bad at Leicester.
no, but he rejected that job.
He did reject it, but I'm saying a team like that, it doesn't have to be a top six side. It could just
No,
be a team that just wants a rebuild that is still of higher caliber than
like go
like a
West Ham if they
Leeds.
make.
You know what I mean? Like just a higher caliber team.
You'd be
So
very lucky to
we'd be
get them.
very lucky. Yes.
I think he takes a bit of time off here,
Yeah. At
at
least
least
until
till
the
the
summer,
summer.
guaranteed. Yeah.
But next steps for Chelsea, they're going to keep spending a lot. They just spent a lot of money to get rid of Potter. They spent a lot
It
of
was
money to get
50.
rid
They
of
signed him for
Tuchel.
5 years, 50 million guaranteed. He just got paid. He's gonna take
He
maybe
won't. He
even.
won't get all that. But
He's getting at least 20 million.
yeah, he should take some
He's
time off.
gonna
If
take
I
a
was him,
lot of
I'd take some
time
time
off.
off.
Go to the Caribbean. Like just take some
Yeah,
time off.
get some tan in you. Get away from the English press. Just
Yeah.
go. Just go enjoy yourself.
Yeah.
But in terms of next step, I mean, Tuchel got hired a week ago. Why
Yeah.
didn't they fire? If they knew Potter was gone, why why wait so long when Tuchel was there? And based on remarks he said recently, it sounds like he would have liked to go back because he really liked being at Chelsea. But he's not there. So now they got to look at who's available. And the big name coach available was the one that Tuchel replaced, Nagelsmann, Nagelsmann, however you want to pronounce it.
Nagelsmann. I'm pretty sure it's how it's pronounced.
Nagelsmann,
Yeah.
okay, Julian Nagelsmann, and I really wanted him at Spurs because he's like the perfect.
No. Yeah. And now
He's
he's
a
not
young
going to
manager.
Spurs.
No, no way. Bayern hired him to be the project manager, to be a project manager, but they did stick with him, kind of like Chelsea did with Potter. But I think Nagelsmann would come in. He has that respect. He's already been at those top clubs. He just seems like the most natural fit. I think that's part of the reason why they parted. They parted with Potter when they have.
Yeah. I mean, moving on to though like the Spurs situation and how
Mm,
Nagelsmann was linked with Spurs and now is quickly shifted and nobody's talking about that anymore. He's quickly shifted to Chelsea. But
mm.
that's not all bad because I've seen a lot of news coming saying that Pochettino might be going to Spurs again. I don't know how good or bad that is. That's I want to hear your opinion on that. But I've heard that his agent, even though I've heard he represents himself,
Oh, I saw that.
but all I saw was
Well,
that his agent was in London, and obviously it's not like he's going to Chelsea. I don't think he would go to
no, he
Chelsea.
won't.
So that's obviously only for one other team then in London.
That source that reported that it's crap. I will say
I
that.
say multiple sources is the thing.
Mhm.
So,
I mean, I wouldn't say no to having Poch back
but the thing is, he was a
because
great coach, but you don't know what PSG did to him, how it changed him. You don't want.
he wanted he won a trophy.
What I'm
He knows how to
saying,
win a trophy
I know
now.
what I'm saying is, he doesn't. He might not have that patience anymore that he had with Spurs.
He loved us, still does. Um, I think it would be a big indictment on Levy. Levy fired Poch, wanted to change the direction, change the sporting director, change the way we played the football, and we've gone backwards. I think if we went backwards, Levy would basically be him putting his hands up and saying, "I messed up." I don't know if he's going to do that.
He's not. I'm sorry, but he's not. From what I've seen.
Yeah, yeah. I'd love Poch, but I also think it'd be a bit too soon to bring him back. There's still too much deadwood in that
Yeah.
squad that Poch brought in himself. Some of the big names that gets rolled around even be a bit unfair. Davison Sanchez. I
He,
don't know why he's been at Spurs so long.
yeah, I mean,
Mhm.
slightly off topic with the Spurs game today. He got subbed on, and he wasn't the reason that you guys got scored on, but you can immediately see once he got subbed on, even the commentator said Sanchez is a starter for the Colombian team. He's known to make risky plays, and boy, did he make risky plays, and most of them did not work out, to say the least.
I did not watch this game. I had work. I came home.
Yeah, well,
I had no
I do
intention of
work
watching this
an
game.
earlier job than you, so I did have the
Yeah.
privilege. I started watching at the 30th minute mark because that's when I got home. But
Mhm.
just to sum it up, um, again, I started watching at the 30th minute, but I checked in and it was incredibly boring the first half. I could just tell. There were very few chances. It was just
It's
Spurs
Spurs.
owning possession and Everton parking the bus. And then the second half started and it was kind of exciting until the red card happened where Ducore just slapped Harry Kane right across the face.
Yeah, I did see some photos of that.
And it was I don't even know what to say. Like it was I mean in the rule
Stupid.
book you can't do that to a player.
Yeah.
But as just a person, that was you have to go down so he gets the red. But
Oh yeah.
it was just funny seeing how it went, and Harry Kane went down a second later. It was just it was quite comical. But that's what you have to do. It's what you have to do.
Yeah. You can't touch people in the face.
And then your boy, your favorite center back ever, Romero, won the penalty,
Oh yeah, I did see that.
and
I've seen all the highlights.
Kane scored again. So you saw
Hmm.
the Lucas Moura red card then, where it didn't go well. It went downhill honestly since Sanchez came back on. I'm sorry, but it went really
It
downhill
always
after.
goes that way.
Yeah, it went really downhill after the red
Lucas Moore
card by
red card.
Lucas Moura. Yeah, he felt so bad. It was just a bad challenge. He was like, "Come on, not even like a yellow." He felt bad, but the player Keane got right up. It wasn't like he was injured.
Yeah.
It was still a bad foul, but
10 years ago, that would have been like a foul. Keep going, but it needs to be
yeah,
protected because that's how you really hurt
that's
someone.
how
But
he could have easily broken his leg the way he stomped on it.
yeah,
Just like what happened with Ailing against Wolves, it was the same exact way, and I was scared for a second. Both players got up and they were
yeah,
fine.
yeah.
But red card, Everton got the ball, and it was an absolute screamer of a shot by Keane.
I did see the goal, and I was like, of course,
But
of course, Michael Keane scores that against them.
my father, who barely watches football, he noted. I even pointed it out right after you guys scored the penalty, or not penalty. Right after you guys, not you guys, Everton had the red card. 8 players making that back wall. I counted them.
Spurs,
No, Everton had 8 players at the back,
yeah,
lined up perfectly, and it's just like
that's what Sean Dyche will do for you.
I know, but at the same time, as an Everton fan, I'd be happy that they got the point, but at the same time, how boring and how unpassionate, how unsportsmanlike is it just to play all out defense? It just feels like
You hate it, but it feels amazing when it works.
no, I don't even feel amazing because I feel like you drink a few beers to watch a good game, and I feel like I wasted 2 beers because nothing's happening.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, Spurs are just as boring. They have zero creativity, so when teams sit back, they can't
Yeah,
do anything. Skip and Hoiberg are going to play the elusive pass. The only person that is Kulusevski, and he really hasn't been informed since he got
I was
injured
gonna say
earlier in
it
the
felt like
season.
everything was coming from Poro and Kulusevski during that game.
Mm-hmm.
Perisic had his
Poro's a good critic.
moments. Yeah, Perisic had his moments, but
Perisic nullifies some though, so
yeah, there's got to be
I
something. When does Sessegnon come back? I feel like him and Son made a decent duo, at least better than Perisic.
I don't know. It was 6 weeks in February, beginning of
Well,
February. It's been 8. He's
hopefully, any
days
news?
is hurt. No, nothing. Club said nothing. We
That's
we actually
unfortunate.
signed a young winger who plays left wing back in the academy to a professional contract this week. So I don't think Sessegnon is anywhere close to being back, which is fine. It's fine. Everything's fine.
At
It's
least you
not.
guys aren't on the verge of relegation.
No, but we're gonna finish seventh, and then Kane's gonna go to United, so we might as well get relegated. That's doomsday. I'm doomsday. Of course I am. We just drew 1-1 with Everton due to a Michael Keane screamer, and drew 3-3 with Palace because the worst penalty I've ever seen got called against us last week. Those go the other way. Conte still has a job. It's like it's very doomsday, but it's those small margins, right? Um,
Yeah,
I just yeah, I Spurs bother me. We don't have a director of football. We don't have a men's head coach. We don't have a women's head coach. Um,
you don't have. Yeah, you already said director of football.
yeah, yeah. It
Paratici
just
gone for the
feels.
foreseeable future.
Oh, he's gone permanently. There's no
Yeah,
way.
yeah,
There's no way you can back him to stay at the club. But just it feels very directionless, and I feel very unconnected from the team. I don't really care, and usually I'm 100% behind. I mean, you've known me for a long time now.
yeah.
I'm always 100% behind Spurs, and I'm just really disconnected from them. But they are a coach. What I think will happen this summer is that we'll sniff around all the big coaches, and we'll end up with a guy who just got fired, not Graham Potter, but Brendan Rodgers, who just got fired at Leicester. So
It's
they
true.
are in 18th place. I hate to bring it back to Spurs again. Maybe I do, maybe I don't. The last time Leicester had a positive result is when they beat Spurs 4-1. They had not picked up a point since
I
that game.
saw. No, they picked up one. They drew once, and then they lost 7 games.
I thought they lost every other one.
No, they lost. I
Let me
think
have a
it was
look at
6 or 7 games. Um, but yeah, Brendan Rodgers gone. I mean, looking back at it though, he always. This is long for his career at a team.
this.
4 years is long. He's usually done at three for every team he's done, and he even said it
No,
before the
we've
season.
lost every game since
Oh really?
since yeah
Um,
since they
he
beat us
even
4-1 on February
he
11th.
even said it before the season started. This team is stale. It needs something, and the board was like, no, we're not spending any money.
They have FFP problems though, but
That
they
well,
spent money in the summer. They brought
no,
in
but
that
I'm
Tete
saying
guy. They
like
brought in Christensen at the back. They brought in Harry Sutar at the back.
I guess, but at the beginning of the season, you can still offload some players, bring in some new ones. You can't always just bring in new ones, but
They couldn't sell a lot of players because of the wages,
that I mean that makes it Madison. You could have sold him in January. He's their best player,
but you don't want to sell him
but
because
you
then you
don't
get
want to
relegated.
sell him. But you need something to change. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Just
I mean, you look at their squad. You have James Madison, you have Yuri Tillemans, you have Tete, you have Patson Daka, you have Wilfred Ndidi. Just naming names
it's
here,
just
but
like West
Timothy
Ham. They're too
Castagne,
good to be in a relegation battle.
way too good to be down there.
But at this point, I
Harvey
still think
Barnes,
is like Leeds could stay up higher than them. Like just the way that they're surprising everybody week in week out with how bad they
they
are.
they need that new manager boost, and they need it bad.
Leeds are at
Um,
least inconsistent, but get some wins right now. They just
yeah,
aren't winning.
I'd be crazy if Leicester go down. What's it, seven
I
years after
know
winning the title?
it'd be crazy, but at this point, I wouldn't even be surprised if West Ham go down. They're only 1 point above relegation too, along with four other teams.
Mhm.
It's
I
just
just got pulled up Leicester on my screen. It says Pochettino. Leicester City sent clear message. Sent clear Pochettino message as next manager. I doubt Poch
he's
goes to
not going to
Leicester.
Leicester.
That would
I
be crazy.
yeah, he's that's not happening. All right, though.
But
Since
yeah, another week,
we're
another
slowly
couple
moving on to
managers
our next
fired.
topic, so we should save a little
Yeah,
more for that.
yeah, another week, another couple managers fired. So that seems to be the prem at the moment. Maybe Klopp will be going soon, as they haven't picked up any points since they beat United 7-0, and Manchester United haven't either. Lost to Newcastle this week, but it'll be interesting to see who sticks around, who gets fired by the end of the season, because we've already lost, I think, 12 head coaches, including Southampton twice.
Yeah,
12, 11 teams have changed coaches. 12, something like 11 have been fired because get fired at Brighton.
yeah,
But it's just crazy, crazy season for firing. It seems like there's less patience than ever with this crazy Premier League season.
yeah.
But I think that wraps up this first video.
Yep.
Um,
All right.
we'll go ahead and close this one up, and we'll be back to talk about the relegation battle and then a little bit about the Formula One race in Melbourne this weekend.
We will. All right. See ya.